FEI uncovers why Shanquella Robinson's passing was arranged. It's been 2 months and half a month. At this point, Shanquella Robinson's demise never stopped making the web go off the deep end. And when we thought we'd seen it all, the FBI has quite recently stopped various hypotheses by uncovering reality behind Shanquella's passing. Was Shanquella's demise truly arranged? I would have wanted to go straight into the subtleties. Yet for the people who had hardly any insight into the beginning of this case, we should travel once again into the past to October 2022. On the 28th to be exact, Shanquella went on an outing from North Carolina to Cabo in Mexico with her closest companion, Khalil Cook, and 5 different companions, which incorporates Malik's Patrick Dyer, Winter, Pith, Donovan, Alyssa, Michelle Hyatt, Deshanna Jackson, and Nazir Wiggins, every one of whom she met at Winston-Salem College. They have all ventured out to Mexico for a little excursion and looked into an extravagance condo called the Entry Los Cabos Resort. Evidently, relatively few individuals realize about what occurred on appearance, yet on the second day things started to get downright ugly. As per the report, around 2:13 p.m., a specialist from the American Clinical Center was mentioned due to an occupant of Portales Cabos who was supposedly not feeling great. When the specialist showed up at the loft, she found Shanquella in stable condition, yet she was dried out, lethargic, and looking inebriated. The specialist prescribed that she ought to be taken to the clinic, yet Shanquella's buddies demanded that she be treated in the condo. The specialist endeavored to regulate an IV liquid to keep her body hydrated, yet couldn't continue as Shanquella experienced a tonic-clonic seizure. Soon she began experiencing difficulty breathing, so the specialist had no real option except to call a rescue vehicle. When the rescue vehicle showed up, Shanquella has experienced a heart failure, which provoked the paramedics to oversee rounds of CPR on her and furthermore shots of adrenaline and electrical release from a defibrillator. Tragically, all endeavors to bring Shanquella back proved to what if. These was accounted for by the police on the grounds that as per them the specialist had advised them about the entire occurrence, and there was no perception of inner or outer injury. In view of this report and examination, the Mexican specialist said there was no obvious proof that Shanquella was killed by the specialist. She let the police know that Shanquella colleagues let him know she had a lot of liquor. Thusly, this data was all what the police used to presume that Shanquella passed on from liquor. Harming around a similar time, the specialist was called. Shanquella's mom, named Lizard Robinson, likewise got a call from Khalil, who was Shanquella's closest companion, saying Shanquella had a lot to drink and that a specialist was coming to treat her. Salamandra had no clue. She could at absolutely no point ever see her girl alive in the future, in my beliefs. And they recently said that it was liquor toxin. And when the police came in to research, you realize they might have taken a gander at her and said it appeared to be that she had been hopped on. The last time she heard from her little girl was on the day she got to Mexico, which she called to say she was going on a mission to eat tacos Calio, and the others got back to North Carolina without Shanquella. Khalil, who was Shanquella's closest companion, went to Shanquella's home with her gear. He let Salamandra know that her girl was sick because of extreme utilization of liquor. Salamandra thought that something was off, and her doubt even deteriorated when she addressed others about her little girl's demise. There were such a large number of irregularities in their accounts, and to exacerbate the situation, they all returned with, without Shanquella's body. The media went off the deep end over this episode, and many individuals requested that the case be completely explored. While Shanquella's dad, Bernard Robinson, went to Mexico to get his girl's body, he couldn't undoubtedly find an English speaker who might assist him with finding his direction and move the body. Fortunately, he associated with a lady that works at the estate who let him know that his little girl didn't pass on from liquor, harming from a neck injury. When I was on her, she would be a bare man, you realize. It's a messed up wrongdoing. I didn't comprehend the folks in the room actually soon a video circulated on the web, which shows stripped Shanquella being thumped by one of her companions, while others watched and recorded the episode in the video part of the gang. Was heard saying Shanquella ought to retaliate essentially, while she denied by saying no. Clearly Shanquella didn't lift her hand to retaliate regardless of how much her companion was being her Bernard, was all the while searching for a grave webpage for his little girl when he found out about the sad video and attempted to lie and say it was liquor. He asked his girl's companions, who might most times come to their home, to grieve Shanquella with them how they had treated his girl. He said, "Notice nothing about the battle my little girl shouldn't have contender. You realize I ain't raised her to be that sort of way. I raised her to cherish and regard individuals. Salamandra stood up to them of about the battle, and that was the last time they had seen any of them at their home. Many individuals found that video bizarre and thought that Shanquella's companions arranged or knew something about her demise." Essentially, on November 4, 2022, a post-mortem examination report, which depicts Shanquella's passing, was delivered. The report shows that she kicked the bucket around 15 minutes subsequent to experiencing a constant spinal line injury and a map book luxation, which implies a disengagement or partition of the skull base from the principal bone of the neck, called the chartbook bone, with the spilled video in this dissection report. It is quite obvious that Shanquella passed on a savage passing. Likewise, the dissection report never referenced that heart failure or liquor harming was the reason for her demise. The U.S. Division of State then put out an announcement showing their mindfulness and participation. The assertion peruses we know about these reports, safeguarding the government assistance of U.S. residents abroad, is among our first concerns, keeping in mind the protection of those. Elaborate. We have no further remark right now. One reason why the web is going crazy is on the grounds that for more than about 14 days, the Robinsons attempted to persuade the specialists that Shanquella was killed, yet nothing was done despite the fact that there was a video of the brutality circling on the net. As per Shanquella's mom, they likewise saw indications of injury on her body after it was gathered from Mexico, which shows that Shanquella was fiercely gone after before she passed on. It appeared to be the specialists were hanging tight for more proof before they made a move concerning the case. And on November 18, 2022, the FBI affirmed that it had opened an examination concerning Shanquella's demise. On November 25, 2022, the principal legal officer of the Baja California Examiner's Office declared a capture court request was given, which was connecting with a femicide charge. Just to be clear, femicide is the demonstration of killing ladies in light of their orientation. Assuming that anybody gets sentenced for femicide, they can get as long as 60 years in jail. It is as yet not satisfactory how this is connected with femicide, in light of the fact that until further notice, specialists are yet to uncover the suspect for this situation anyway. Because of the video that was spilled by a Twitter client, there's been hypothesis that the suspect for whom a capture request was given is